lost the house when my mom died, and I wasn't able to pay rent. I was homeless for 5 years, poor for 20. I was given a bad hand, too poor for college, no scholarships or special talents. No one wanted a useless, stinky nobody, so I wandered around begging for money. I never stayed in one place for too long. I walked alongside highways, slept in the woods, hitched a ride if I was lucky. Whenever I found a small town, I stayed for a week or so, and then I would move on. But this time I met someone. I was sitting outside a grocery store, trying to sleep on a cardboard sheet on hard concrete, when a middle-aged woman put $50 in my cup. She didn't look any special. Frizzy brown hair, blouse, and slacks. But because of her, I was able to buy food from 7-Eleven for a week. And when I ran out of that 50, she came back with another. It became a habit that every week she would come by and give me $50. And when it was the end of the month, she would give me some of her groceries. I learned her name after 2 months of this. Her name was Marianne, and she worked for the local church as a Sunday school teacher and accountant. She never tried to proselytize me or anything. She never even invited me to her church. She just came by and gave me stuff. I was used to the usual crowd of people ceremoniously giving $1 to show off to their children or fellow church members. So it was surprisingly welcome to have someone be genuinely kind for once. One day, she proposed that I move in with her. She had an extra bedroom and she didn't want rent. And I expected the worst. Secret cult, grooming, serial killing. But I trusted her. I guess it was the kindness she showed me that made me work against my better judgment. But my consciousness was proved wrong. The first night I stayed, she gave me a heapful serving of spaghetti and free access to the bathtub. It was the first time I had been warm and full in years. Her house was nice. 2-story, quiet suburb. She gave me my own bedroom, already fitted out with a bed and a few clothes in the closet. She never pestered me to get a job or to help out. She just let me live in her house. The house was decorated straight out of the 80s. Various crochet decorations, a bunch of crosses, and Bible quotes on the wall. And a fat TV with a VCR and cable box. What irked me was that all the pictures around the house were all of an old lady and her family, who were all blonde. I asked Marianne, and she told me that she used to take care of that old lady until she died, and that she gave her the house and all the money in her will. I asked if the family was happy about that, and they weren't. But she gave away 3/4 of the money to the family, and that made them happy. The money was around $6 million, so that was nothing to sneeze at. The old lady was really good at stock bets. Staying with Marianne for 2 years, one thing that never really settled with me was her severe generosity. One Thanksgiving, she invited an entire town of homeless strangers to her house for a meal. One of them found the safe and stole $500, but she just let him have the money. She gave away her car to the family next door whose car was decked due to the teenage son drinking and driving. And she was gifted with a new car from the church. She gave 20% of her income that she got from the church. She was insane, but everyone loved her for it. The whole town called her their angel from heaven. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought that the small town secretly worshipped her as their cult leader. But at some point, I learned to see her from their point of view. It's hard to deny her calm and charming demeanor. She never slept. I never heard her use the bathroom, and she never set a serving of food for herself. Other than going to church meetings and other activities around town, she always spent her days watching TV, even watching old black and white shows until the early mornings. I don't think I've ever seen her read the Bible outside of church, which for anyone else would be normal, but for her, it felt off. I always chalked it up to her being some silent walker, a silent pisser, someone who does intermittent fasting, someone who eats whenever I don't eat, someone who memorized the Bible. She was housing me after all. She's too generous to have anything nefarious behind her actions. One Black Friday, I urged her to buy a new TV. She had been watching grainy gray TV for years, so I wanted to do something nice for her. I got a job at a fast food place in town, and I saved up enough money to get something for her. She needed to receive some generosity for a change. We went into the city that night and went to this department store with the right TV within my budget. Not that big, but good enough for the both of us. When we went outside, we were held up by two guys. One of them had a gun. They screamed they wanted the TV, and Marianne, the angel she is, gave the TV with a smile. I don't know if it was the way she gave it to him, or if the gunman was on crack, but she shot Marianne right in the head. Knowing they fucked up, they ran. I wanted to chase after them, but Marianne held me back, holding my leg. "Forgive them," she said in a weak voice. I've never seen her cry, and it hurt me to see her like that. But something quickly wiped the tears off my face. Her blood was copper. I dipped my fingers into it, and I held it up to the light, and it was glittering. "I'm sorry for lying to you," she said. I crawled up to her and hugged her. My confusion made my face dry. "What do you mean? You did nothing," I said, but she said something else that furthered my confusion to annoyance. "Get back," she said. I started shouting. "What are you talking about, Mary? What do you mean?" Then her face started melting. Her skin melted down to a thick copper, exposing the muscles on her face. I leaped back. The muscle-melted red ooze as it revealed her skull. Thousands of small eyes were embedded into her bones, just an inch smaller than her brown eyeballs. They were all looking at me. The eyes of all different colors staring at me. I vomited on the floor looking at her arms, staining her pink frilly blouse. The same eyes embedded into her arms, hands, and the fingers were staring. I crawled to the wall behind me and I screamed. "Be not afraid," she said in a hoarse, deep voice as cracks started to form and spread between her many, many eyes, a light piercing throughout her skeleton, exploding into a bright light. My eyes burned like hot pokers were being skewered into my eye sockets, and after a few seconds, she was gone. The only thing I could see in my blurry vision was what was left of her. Her charred clothes. Pieces of her blouse flew away in the wind, but I didn't bother to get them. I wasn't questioned by the police. The alleyway had a camera in it, and they saw the same thing as what I saw. After staying in the interview room for a good 3 hours, I was questioned by 2 men in suits. I didn't want to get involved in government shit, so they just left me alone. Gave me a ride home in the cop car to her house. I didn't have her driver's license, so I asked the tow company to bring her car to the house. I had to go through the safe to get the money. It felt so awful. The wallet was charred but survived, and the cops gave it to me. All I found was a few burnt generous dollars and a burnt picture of what looked like her and that old lady. She had no identification cards, not even a social security card. After 3 days, a lawyer knocked on the door. He said that she had edited her will a year before, and the house and $2 million were now under my name. I asked how she was able to do that without any proof that she existed, and the lawyer said that it was confidential, so I'm guessing a bit of goodwill and generosity. I used some of that money for the closed casket funeral. The entire town attended. I have never seen so many people cry over an empty coffin. The cops found one of the guys who killed her, saying that the other one died from a drug overdose. I guess a part of Marianne, or whatever she was, lived on inside me, because I didn't push for any charges. He's my roommate now. He was just a kid who was following his older brother, so I did not blame him for Marianne. He helped me and guided me around the house before I got new glasses for the blindness. The money helped me stay stable until I got a high school diploma and until I was able to become a district manager for the fast food place I worked at. I kept the same house. I kept the TV. Part of me wanted to follow her lead and respect the old lady who kept her in. I believe she's an angel. A lot of people do. I hope Marianne will look down at me and be proud of what she helped make better. Be kind. We can't all be angels, but hell, the world needs more of them.